Welcome, friends, to the Beaver Dam. Dare I say it? Dare I say it? Nukers are overrated. Like, it's great. Nukers are great in the early game. You need nukers for teams, absolutely, but nukers are overrated. We're going to talk about this now. I'm not saying they're worthless by any means. In fact, one of the greatest things you can have when you start out in Raid Shadow Legends is 2 nukers for your campaign farmers. But, you know, we'll talk about this. But before we hop right in, speaking of new players and starting out, if you want to start out with a new account in Raid Shadow Legends, go ahead and check out the link down below, the QR code appearing above. You're going to get Zargala, the face of this game, as well as, you know, $60 of worth of cool stuff to be able to start you off on your journey in Raid Shadow Legends. As well as you level up, you'll unlock the wonderful Ugo, who is absolutely amazing, and you're also going to be able to use one of the 4 promo codes for new players that are happening this month, and I have a card will be appearing above that takes you to that video about that if you're curious what promo codes are going on currently and which one you should choose. There's a clear choice in my opinion. There's some arguments for other ones, but there's a clear choice in my opinion. But nukers, dude. So obviously I started off with the promo code Monkey King and got Sun Wukong, which he is a nuker, and he is a fantastic nuker. He requires a little bit of booking for endgame content, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, although booking is really hard for legendary characters, especially as an early player, so it does make it a little bit rough. And of course, Kale is your initial nuker with his poison, his AoEs that deal a lot of damage, all that type of stuff. He's your big nuker to begin with, which, oh my gosh, I still have not pulled a single necklace for this guy or a banner. It hurts my soul. One day I will finish this man's artifacts and I'll actually get matching sets, but today is not that day. It will be soon though. But anyways, so, you know, I've got this wonderful nuker in Kale. I've got this wonderful nuker in Sun Wukong. I have Alice the Wanderer, who's another fantastic nuker. I've got Kale. I probably said Kale already. I have Venomage. And my newest one to add to the list, where I've pushed it really hard, is Jintoro. Jintoro? This is a Shadowkin legendary I pulled, and he has a 5-star in the Demon Lord, and so I was like, ooh, 5-star in the Demon Lord. I'm interested. And so I took him up as far as I could, as fast as I could, gave him some decent mods, modded him according to Hell Hades, you know, really pushed as much as I could into this character, and really didn't transform my Demon Lord runs. You need a team based around him to make it really pop off. And it kind of made me reevaluate, are nukers really that insanely important? Because, you know, I added this guy who's supposedly supposed to deal a ton of damage in Demon Lord, and he doesn't really do that much to add to the overall amount that I'm getting in Demon Lord. I found that rather than adding another nuker in, it's much more important to throw in those other roles, which are usually the harder ones to find, because early on, as I mentioned, you can get Sun Wukong, you can get Alice, you can get Kale, you can get some good solid nukers to start, but you don't really start with any turn meter characters. Like, you don't start with a Deacon Armstrong, where you can be able to get a whole bunch of good turn meter removal and turn meter increases to your team, or, you know, an Apothecary, and, you know, push both turn meter as well as increased speed boost onto your team. Like, these aren't things that you're naturally going to get, and so it makes it much harder to kind of push your roster up without getting one of these characters, which there's a couple that are easy to get. You know, there's High Katoon, as well as which you just get from playing the game, and then as you farm hard mode 12-3 for your artifacts and your XP, you will get Diabolist. And Diabolist is a fantastic rare. You're going to get plenty of copies of her, and you could use those copies to upgrade her abilities, and you're going to have some good stuff. I always, you know, talk about when I'm opening shards, how I'm always looking for legs, because I love seeing legs, because legs means turn meter or speed, and we always love seeing turn meter or speed on champions. and sometimes I've mistakenly said, oh, sweet feet, just what I've always wanted, and I regret those words as soon as they come out of my mouth on a live stream. But then again, it's a live stream, I can't really edit that out. So I mean, I like speed in a kit, okay? To be fair, that's what I'm talking about here. But you know, not just turn meter as well. Like the big thing that I'm looking for in my my roster right now, because I've got some turn meter champs to work with my Demon Lord, but you know, buffers and debuffers are a big thing that you know are really important. And there can be like specific ones, like for instance, ones that will give, you know, you can't die, things like that, that are amazing buffs. But there's also just, you know, increased attack, increased defense, decreasing the attack and defense of the enemy. One of the nicest things about Venomage is not only is it a poison champ that I'm rocking here that deals poison really easily. On top of that, it places a decreased defense and a decreased attack debuff on the Demon Lord. And so it fulfills multiple roles for me as kind of a nuker, as well as something that's going to debuff the enemy. And so this character has been fantastic for Demon Lord for multiple reasons. But these like straight nuker characters like Alice the Wanderer and Sun Wukong really haven't been helping me with what I'm currently working on right now. And so really, once you get a couple nukers down, you get, even if it's just Kale and another poison champ, you know, maybe you got a corpse collector or, you know, whatever it might be to help you out getting high damage early on in Demon Lord. Once you get a couple characters to deal damage, it's really about getting that turn meter, getting those buffers, debuffers, maybe a revival character, all that type of stuff. It's much more important than just going for a, nukers. And you know, there's instances where I actually prefer having multiple nukers, like for instance with the arena. The arena is one of those places that I feel like I can never have enough nukers, especially going into tag team arena, because tag team arena is, you know, I have to have 3 teams for it. But like essentially because of how it works here, if you can just go first, push some turn meter to your champs, and then just have a couple characters that are nukers, you can do some really solid stuff here. And so, you know, running a triple nuker and then like one champ to, you know, increase your speed as well as increase your turn meter can get you a very long ways inside of arena and that type of thing. Because once you start getting into the upper echelons, you'll start having to like strategize. You'll be using your best champs and like the champs that are going to have synergy and that type of stuff, and less of just kind of whatever's the most powerful. But early on, you can end up overpowering team after team just because you take first turn and you have a bunch of people that deal a lot of damage. Because if you can do that, you can essentially win without any effort whatsoever. So, you know, nukers can be very helpful. Having multiple nukers like this can be helpful, and nukers will be good for different things. Like you just saw me pull out Venomage for Sun Wukong, because Sun Wukong's a better overall PvP champion. Venomage is much better in player versus environment PvE content. Demon Lord, he's great. Dungeons, he's great. He can solo dungeons and stuff. But you know, that Sun Wukong is better in the arena. So, like, there's definitely instances where having a whole bunch of nukers is a good thing, and you keep in mind you're like eventually you're gonna want a nuker for every one of your faction war teams, so that way you can make sure that you're getting as much as you can out of faction wars. Because, bro, the forge is one of the greatest things. Perception gear. This is one of my favorite pieces of gear in the game, and it's so hard to get good perception gear. You want to be working towards that as often as you can. So many of these gear sets are just super nice, and you can only get here in the Forge. So those faction wars, you definitely want to focus on them. So like, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of nukers, but I think, I don't know. Hopefully I've kind of made my point here. The shift in adding Alice into my roster after getting Kale and Venomage into my roster, adding in Alice really didn't do much for me besides in PvP. For like my Demon Lord and like the things that I'm focusing on, it helps in Doom Towers. Doom Tower did help, but like, you know, I'm majorly focusing on Demon Lord. Not push me up at all, but like getting a turn meter champ, getting Deacon into the team, all of a sudden I shoot up an extra 2 million. I shoot up an extra 4 million. You know, those big boosts are really significant, especially because that can push you over the edge where, you know, when you're going into Demon Lord, you can end up being able to, you know, do the quick battle, which saves you a lot of time in game, which I'm always down for saving time in game. So, you know, yeah, it's just nukers are essential in the game, but they're also, I feel like, the easiest one to have a lot of. I feel like I have a lot of nukers lying around, and I just don't have a reason to get them up. Like, I'd love to get up another nuker because they're cool characters. Their kits are really cool, but those supporting role characters are really what I need and what becomes super important. You know, after you finish with your campaign farmers, you start working a Demon Lord and Doom Tower. Those supplemental characters that help out the nukers, give them the buffs to hit hard, debuffs to the enemy, and the turn meter to get them going. All that type of stuff, that is really what makes the nukers shine. And so, like, it's just shifting your focus over to those other characters is important, and making sure that you're not just doing what I did, like, you know, Sun Wukong level 60, Venomage level 60, Kale level 60, Alice level 60. These are all nukers. You know, Ugo level 60. Here we go. We finally have a character who's like, you know, a revival character, because that 5-star to 6-star to level 60 is like an increase of 4 times on power level. It's a significant increase to power level for nukers. It's also a significant increase to survivability for support characters. And so you don't want to miss out on getting those 6 stars on those other characters that you are bringing up that are going to be supporting your nukers. So don't just put those 6 stars on nukers. Make sure that you're giving some love over to your supports. So that's kind of the whole thing that I want to push on you is, you know, you probably have a couple good nukers. If you don't, finish your nukers. Obviously, a couple good nukers in the early game, super helpful. But make sure you take a step back, look at what supports you have, and build up them as well. And, you know, if you don't have any good supports, start getting some shard openings done. You know, when these events come around where you can get extra stuff out of shard openings, open up what shards you have. See if you can't get someone like an apothecary. Get someone who, you know, can push a little turn meter in. Or get yourself a Diabolist, you know, all that type of stuff. So hopefully this helped you guys. If it did, do consider subscribing. I appreciate it. It helps me out, helps the channel out, helps it get it to other people, so that way they don't miss out on things like, you know, realizing that nukers aren't everything and that you need to focus on your other characters. But thank you guys so much for watching, and once again, if you want to get started in Raid Shadow Legends today, I highly suggest going and checking out that link down below, QR code above. It's a great time to get in Raid Shadow Legends, and, you know, with the ability to get Alice, or, you know, you can get Supreme Gaelic, or you can get Loki, Sun Wukong. There's tons of options for your day 1 legendary. It's fully customizable. You're gonna get $60 of rewards. Tons of good stuff coming into the game new. So if you want to start a new free-to-play account, or if you want to go and you want to get your buddy into the game, it's a great option. Send them that code. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for giving a damn.